I'm going to explain on what really happened with the Pac 12, on why they fell apart. First of all, ESPN ended negotiations with the Pac 12 conference in 2022 after they demanded $50 million per school. Before that, ESPN offered a TV rights deal of $30 million per school last fall, which the Pac declined. They got too greedy for their own good. They lost their two biggest brands in USC and UCLA. You're not going to be up to that number with those two losses out of the way. They lacked self-awareness because of that. They still thought they had the LA market, but no, and they were still very valuable. No, they were not. Of course, we know the Big 12 cut in line and got TV deal done before the Pac and the Pac 12, and of course the Pac 12 got put on the back burner for this because there was a lot of pressure, as we all know. They, instead of wanting to go to ESPN, of course, then Fox said no thank you as well. Of course, NBC was already taken up in CBS as well. They wanted to take a bite out of a rotten Apple TV deal worth $20 to $22 million per team, with heavy streaming with incentives in order to get more money. I mean, instead, some teams said, I'm not going to take that bite. I'm leaving. And even before the number came out, Colorado decided, nope, I'm leaving. You didn't show me the numbers? I'm leaving. And I can't blame them. Of course, we know Oregon and Washington left right afterwards. Not really directly, but you get the point. Like 8 days, that last Friday, after some craziness, and it felt like Arizona to the Big 12 was going to be the first name, but actually it was not. It was Washington and Oregon. Because they said, you know what? We're not sticking around with this. We're leaving. Of course, then Arizona State changed their minds, which I know what the AD said was bad about the West Virginia stuff, and the president didn't help anything either on that situation with on the voting either. Same thing goes for the AD on the trying to get to the Big 12 initially. And I do forgive him for his comments about West Virginia after he apologized. By the way, I do. But going forward, he's got to be better. The AD does. The president as well. Of course, Utah just want to stay loyal to the Pac, and I get that. They were winning the last 2 years in the Pac-12, as we all know. But then their administration got going again and said, you know what? Our best option financially is to go to the Big 12. And of course, Arizona was already on board. I mean, that's the truth. And those teams wanted to leave before taking the bite of catastrophe. I mean, why would you want to be on heavy streaming? Streaming may not be it may be the future, but it doesn't help you with linear. And now it leaves with Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, and Stanford. So, what do I think is going to happen? First of all, I'm just speculating on this. I think Stanford goes independent before even thinking about the Mountain West or the American here. Let's be clear, in terms of football. But other sports, I think they go to the other, like a Mountain West or American. I don't see the ACC at this point. And of course, we know the talks have been held up. Same thing goes for Cal. And of course, SMU is in that mix as well, as we all know. But Cal don't as well. I don't know if Cal is going to even go on to find a way to be independent in all this. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But either way, they're going to either go independent or they're going to go in a G5 conference, in which there's only two possibilities I could realistically see: the American or the West Coast Conference. I don't see a reason why for the American schools going to the Pac-4 at this point. I just don't see it. Why would you want to go to an area with a heavy streaming? I mean, that's the thing. Why would you? Make them go to you instead. I mean, same thing as, of course, we know the Mountain West. Nobody's going to leave there with that buyout. So, now, Oregon State and Washington State, if no teams come to them, they should go to the Mountain. Probably the best bet is the Mountain West. Because it doesn't make sense. Of course, geography doesn't matter now, but it would help their costs a lot better if they were in the Mountain West. I don't see independent for either of those schools. But maybe they could prove me wrong in that category. Maybe they could go be an American, but it would still be so far away. I mean, it's the truth for them. So I just think the Mountain West. So I just want to explain everything throughout and what I would guess would happen here. And this is just speculation on what's going to happen to Cal, Stanford, Washington State, and Oregon State. And I do wish them good luck trying to find a new home. Because if they don't find anybody to come to them, I know Ross Dellinger said they want the 4 more Western American schools. I just don't see any American schools going to them. It doesn't make sense when they have they might have better money, and it's not better money, but it would be for a little bit more money, but not enough, I think, to make a lot of sense, especially with the streaming part of it. If they're going to really do streaming all the way, because SMU, as we all know, is desperate to be in a power conference. They probably just want to be in the ACC if possible, but I just don't see it. They don't add a lot of value, if any. You could technically say the Dallas market, but they don't really own that Dallas market. Oh no, there's other schools like Texas, Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, for example. They split the market in the Dallas area. So this is just craziness, and hopefully we have an answer in all this. And we know the ACC is going. The only way for the ACC, in order to add teams to expand, is to get 12 out of 15. Yeah, right now it's not looking like that at all. So, anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe, and see you guys later. 5 subscribers are on the road to it. Let's go.